Mahatma Gandhiji's transformational leadership is indeed an inspiration for world peace. His unwavering commitment to nonviolence, truth, and social justice has left an indelible mark on the world, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, peace can prevail. Let us all strive to follow in his footsteps and work towards a more peaceful and just world of all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, that is the need of the hour that we talk about a more peaceful world. In fact, Gandhiji was a person who not only fought for the Indian independence, but yes, of course, he has a great contribution in removing the stigmas of the society like untouchability and casteism and the racism that exists in the society. He has a great role to play in all the aspects of life. Thank you very much, Rehan, for joining with us and sharing your valuable news with us. Now let's move on to one more great educator from Malaysia, Nirmala Devi ma'am. Great educator, in fact. Nirmala Devi ma'am.
Hello. Good evening, Dr. Anju. Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me. I'm so thankful to be here again in saying something
nice.
Ma'am,
switch on the camera.
Sorry, ma'am. Actually, I'm having a blackout here.
Okay.
So it's very dark, super dark, ma'am. That's why I couldn't on the camera. Very sorry for that.
But we would like to hear from you.
All right. Okay, so in Malaysian context, we used to learn history in elementary schools and also high school. And one of the topics that we used to learn is about independence of around the globe and independent leaders who fought for independence of countries around the globe. Very young age. Where we do not in 90s. So we managed to learn from our Malaysian textbook, history textbook about Mahatma Gandhi. So from there, we came to know about Gandhi's sacrifices to gain independence for the country, for India. So from there, we learned a lot of information, a lot of leadership qualities from Mahatma Gandhi. And many of the people, even in Malaysia, they named their children after Mahatma Gandhi's name. So we have a lot of, connection in learning about Mahatma Gandhi, about world peace, and more qualities from him as a leader. And just now, Rania ma'am and another ma'am, they were talking about the qualities that we could emulate from Mahatma Gandhi. And I'm very glad to learn a lot of information today to retrieve the information that I've learned during my school days in the history subject. And nowadays, even in English textbook, we have topics, learning about leadership, especially about world leaders who fought for independence, as I mentioned earlier, Mahatma Gandhi. So from here, we used to get our students to do group work where they will research about leaders and they learn the qualities of how these leaders managed to, overcome a lot of hurdles in order to gain independence for the country. And we just celebrated our independence, and this kind of topics are really important for the students of younger generation to understand the hurdles that have been that were gone by our previous leaders in order to maintain the independence of the country. And he rejected the modern clothing, and he was wearing the dhoti, and then all kinds of actions that taken by Mahatma Gandhi is actually something that we need to treasure in our life and as role model, and also in order to avoid violence around the globe. So for me, as an educator teaching elementary school students, I always instill in my students the good values they should have and avoid violence or any kind of aggressiveness as characteristics of my students. So by instilling this kind of little kind of acts among the students will definitely give a kind of impact for them when they are grown up, and especially for them to be leaders in their own ways. So it doesn't mean that they have to, rule the whole country in order to be the leaders. They are the leaders of their own family. So they need to know how to preserve that kind of leadership and also avoid violence in the family and also in surrounding them. So for me as an educator, I always look into this perspective in order to educate my students to be violence free. Thank you so much, Dr. Anjum, for giving the opportunity to me again and again. And I'm so thankful to IDYM for always sending me even private messages to join this platform in order to voice out my concerns in any topics as an educator. Thank you so much, Dr. Anjum. And I'm so sorry regarding the technical glitch that I'm facing. Thank you so much, Dr. Anjum.
Thank you for joining. We can understand it's a blackout over there. But still, you took out time and this shows your commitment and your support. It's really great that despite of so many glitches, so many difficulties, you're still there with us to share your views. Thank you very much. And of course, as you were talking about Mahatma Gandhi, yes, he was a person, he was a great soul who has heavily influenced people around the world. And his teachings of non-violence, it is like beyond
Yes,
beyond appreciation.
absolutely.
We can say the words are just whatever we say. Because really, we just feel sometimes short of words to express gratitude towards him, to talk about the work he has done for the country and for the whole society. Thank you very much for joining us.
Exactly, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And so now next move on to our next speaker, assistant professor from management, Dr. Revati Rao Ramarao, ma'am from India. Dr. Revati ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Namaste, Anjum ma'am. So thank you so much, Anjum Qureshi ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Engineer Ravi Shankar Kumar sir, and good evening to all of you. October 2nd marks the International Day of Non-Violence. So it's honoring Mahatma Gandhi ji, a key figure in India's independence movement and as a pioneer of non-violent resistance. Yesterday's holiday, also known as Gandhi Jayanti, honors Gandhi's life and the Satyagraha principles of non-violence that he developed. So happy Gandhi Jayanti, and let's honor the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi by embracing truth, non-violence and justice in our lives. So together we can strive for a more peaceful and just world. Yesterday it was Lal Bahadur Shastri Jayanti also. So happy Lal Bahadur Shastri Jayanti. We can also remember the Lal Bahadur Shastri's simplicity, about him, the integrity and the dedication of this great leader. His values and vision continue to inspire us towards a better India. So Gandhi's significant contribution to world peace that suffers through his lifelong teachings on non-violent change making. His legacy provides an everlasting example for people and movements working to make the world more peaceful. So beyond a leader, personified the values he promoted and demonstrated that peaceful resistance can effectively fight domination and injustice. So even in the most challenging circumstances also. His leadership is a classic example of one person's impact on the global movement for peace and justice. Ahimsa was not in action but a powerful force opposing oppressive structure, ultimately freeing India from British colonial rule. Ahimsa is the principle of non-violence, which was the essential of Gandhi's philosophy. So central to Gandhi's philosophy was ahimsa, non-violence, practiced not just as politics, but as a way of life. He believed violence leads to more suffering and that non-violence was the most potent way for oppressed individuals to assert their rights and dignity without harm or aggression. So here, the Gandhi's transformative leadership was exemplified by his simple life, humble attire, and living in accordance with his principles. Yes, he was willing to endure personal sacrifices for the greater good, and he believed in the power of unity. He famously said, "You must be the change you want to see in the world." His life teaches us that real change often requires immense determination. His nonviolence vision lights the way to a peaceful world. His leadership was not merely the theoretical, it was practical. He taught us that real leadership is about serving others and staying true to one's principle, not pursue power or wealth. My experiment with truth is the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi. So, in this book, Gandhi shares his life experiences, personal reflections, and the development of his philosophy of non-violence. So, it is a significant literary work that offers insights into the Gandhi's life principles and his journey towards becoming a leader of the Indian independence movement. This book provides a deep understanding of his beliefs and the experiences that shaped his commitment of truth and non-violence. His autobiography, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, offers an honest and introspective look at his life, so revealing his success, challenges, and inner struggle. It's an invaluable resource to understand the person behind the iconic figure. So, Gandhi supported truth as the cornerstone of human ethics, highlighting unwavering commitment to honesty and virtue in every facet of life. So, let's honor Gandhi's legacy on this International Day of Nonviolence, working towards a world where peace, truth, and nonviolence prevails. So let us try to resolve conflicts through dialogue and understanding rather than violence. Let us remember that each of us has the power to be an agent of change, just as Gandhi was. So happy Gandhi Jayanti. Thank you, Anjumma, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, of course. As we were talking about Mahatma Gandhi Ji and his dedication and the way he preached non-violence. Because yes, when a person follows the path of violence, might be he can achieve what he wants, but that only creates enemies around us. But non-violence was a method by which when you try to, win over something, when you try to achieve something. So in this process, even enemies are turned into friends. So it is a very great message that was given by Mahatma Gandhi. And today we are here to discuss about his transformation journey, how he was uh, an inspiration for the whole world and preached the message of peace and non-violence around the world. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful talk on this great topic of this great day. Thank you. So now let's invite our next speaker, Luis Cardoso. Luis, sir, over to you, sir.
Hello, greetings. Good afternoon from Portugal. Good evening to our dear friends. It's a great pleasure to be here. It's a great honor to be here to celebrate this very special day. It is indeed a true privilege to be among esteemed colleagues, esteemed friends. And I would like to share the views, the thoughts of United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as prepared for delivery at the inauguration ceremony for the Mahatma Gandhi bus in New York City on December 2022. And I quote, "As the charter states, the organization is built on the principle of equal rights and self-determination of peoples. Indeed, the drafters of the Charter took great inspiration from Gandhi's message of peace, non-violence, and tolerance. Gandhi's success in mobilizing millions for anti-colonial resistance while adhering to the principles of non-violence inspired people across the world. But Gandhi is not only a historical figure. His visionary ideas and values, including his concern for justice and social transformation, continue to resonate today. Many of his ideas prefigured the concept of sustainable development, including his view that poverty is the worst form of violence. His belief that societies should be judged on their record of uplifting the most vulnerable holds important lessons for today's leaders. Gandhi was one of the first to recognize the dangers of the plunder and destruction of our environment, observing that the earth, the air, the land, and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but on loan from our children. He was a famous supporter of sustainable local products. He championed women in politics and rejected discriminatory practices of all kinds. Gandhi was an uncompromising advocate for peaceful coexistence, non-discrimination, and pluralism, recognizing that diversity is one of India's greatest assets. He strove for harmonious relations between religions, cultures, and communities. The focus of his life was pressing for social and political reform through non-violent resistance, while creating a culture of peace. His legacy is everywhere, including in the daily work of the United Nations around the world for equality, solidarity, and empowerment. Our Secretary General also highlighted the ideas about leadership regarding Mahatma Gandhi's thoughts in the contemporary world on September 2019, and he said, perhaps Gandhi's most important legacy was in creating a culture of peace, improving the effectiveness of nonviolent non-cooperation, and drawing the world's attention to the gap between what we do and what we are capable of doing. Gandhi's ideas drive the world of the United Nations for equality, empowerment, and global citizenship every day. This is the legacy of Gandhi, and this should be one of our role models and inspiration for our 21st century. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure and indeed a great honor to be here celebrating Gandhi. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, of course. And it is an honor for us to have our guests for joining. Like, for example, you are joining with us from Portugal. And it was really great to learn about more about Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, of course, we can see the impact that he's left in the world. Thank you for joining with us and thank you for sharing this wonderful event with us. Thank you very much. So now it's time to move on to our next speaker. Yes, it is Veena Harvani. Yes, over to you, ma'am. Welcome.
So happy Gandhi Jayanti to everyone out here. And I'm Veena. I'm a skills trainer by profession. And today on this auspicious occasion, as we know, Gandhiji always believed in non-violence, and absolutely true. Wherever there is violence, there is lack of peace, there is lack of, you can say serenity and calmness and things as such. So absolutely true. Wherever there is non-violence, things could be or can be and are always much better on the, it's like they say, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's only greener when you, start watering even your grass, without any violentical stuff. But yes, non-violence Non-violence, yes, very truly said. It is one of the best ways to solve issues. As we know, words can move mountains. Even two countries, get along very well, and everything is sorted out, just with the power of words. Let it be, no matter whatever the situation is, no matter how big the situation is, no matter how worse the situation is, all the matters could be sorted very easily with the power of words. As we know, words can move mountains, and words have the power to create disasters as well, to create violence as well. But yes, Gandhiji had known this power of words. So he always believed, why not communicate? Rather, create disturbance around with the weapons and with the violence by hitting people or killing people. And no doubt, he also had taught us to be patient. He also has taught us to be full of patience, I would rather say. He had waited for a pretty long time to achieve what he intended to, for the freedom that we were hankering for, the freedom that we were looking forward to. So although it took a long time, but yes, nonviolence did create that. And I would request everybody to, believe in this policy of nonviolence and create calmness and serenity across the globe and create peace. And let's all of us be happy with each other, with peace and without any violence around. And even violence, not only with the weapons, but there could be mental violence as well. So let's use the words, constructively, positively, and create that awareness of love and affection with each other and brotherhood across the globe. Thank you so very much for having me for this wonderful meeting on Gandhi Jayanti. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, of course. We talk about violence, non-violence, and it is not just about like physically that violence goes on, but as you were talking about this mental, even that, it really plays a great role. In fact, how we are thinking, the way we think, it gets reflected in our daily activities. That was really a very great thought coming from you. So thank you very much, ma'am, for joining, and thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And let's see if anyone else is. I think, yeah. Now I think I would like to invite our next speaker, Mamadou Jaluso. Mamadou, are you here? Yes, sir.
Hello, guys.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
My connection is now weak. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
Can hear you.
is very weak today.
The speaker has lost his connection again. Is any more speakers who are here and any more participants who would like to speak on this occasion? Jyoti ma'am, Poonam Gothi ma'am, Reena ma'am, anyone else would like to speak again? One more speaker is joined, I can see. Yeah, Poonam Gothi ma'am, would you like to speak?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
गांधी जी पे ही बोलना है कि शास्त्री जी को
गांधी जी,
बोलना है?
गांधी जी।
जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, हमारे राष्ट्रपिता का जन्म 2 अक्टूबर को हुआ था, जिसे कि हम गांधी जयंती के रूप में मनाते हैं। इनके लिए बहुत सी बातें प्रसिद्ध हैं कि ये हड्डियों के जो है हड्डी और मांस से बने हुए व्यक्ति थे, लेकिन इनके अंदर इतनी ताकत थी कि इन्होंने अपनी क्षमता से देश को आजादी दिलाई। इन्होंने अनेक आंदोलन चलाए। नमक पे जो कर लगा था, इन्होंने उसको दूर करने के लिए आंदोलन किया। असहयोग आंदोलन इन्होंने किया। इनके संबंध में एक बहुत प्रसिद्ध बात है कि इनको एक बार एक मीटिंग में इनवाइट किया गया था, जहां पे ये था कि आपको पैंट शर्ट और टाई लगा के ही आना है। लेकिन जब ये मीटिंग में पहुंचे तो वहां पे ये मात्र धोती में, जो कि खादी की ये पहनते थे, खुद की बनाई हुई, उसमें ही पहुंचे। तो वहां पे सभी ने कहा कि एक व्यक्ति आया है जो कि ड्रेस कोड का पालन नहीं कर रहा है। तो इसको सुनते ही वो अंग्रेज जो है अपनी सीट से खड़ा हो गया और उसने पूछा कि आप ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हैं। तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम वस्त्र कहाँ से पहने, क्योंकि हमारे सभी वस्त्र तो आप लोगों ने हमसे छीन लिए हैं। इतना सुन के इन्होंने इतना साहस दिखाया इतने लोगों के बीच में, जहाँ पे निर्भय होके इन्होंने कार्य को, इस शब्द को बोला, तो इनकी सराहना सभी ने की। और गांधी जी के लिए बस इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी, वैष्णव जन तो कहने कहिए, जे पीर पराई जाने रहे। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. It was really a short but really a very great speech. Was the way he acted, the way he, through the word. And when we talk about non-violence, I think can say yes, when we talk about peace. If we talk, like, it is not just this about having peace. That if we look around the world, peace and non-violence, it has a great impact, not only on us or a society or a country, but the whole world as it. With the stroke and about the war that is being going on. So at that time, we know that it's not these two countries that are getting affected, the whole world is getting affected indirectly. And then we are nowadays when we talk so much about achieving the sustainable development goals, achieving the 17 SDGs by 2030. If we see this particular point, this peace and non-violence, how it is affecting all the goals and how we are working to achieve this goal, how hard we are working, but when we fail to achieve this peace, in fact, we fail to achieve the SDGs also, and we fail to achieve the dream of having a developed nation, a developed or the developed globe. That was really very great thoughts coming from all the educators that joined us from different parts of the nation and different parts of the world. So thank you everyone for joining with us and sharing your views on this celebration of the International Day of Knowledge. Thank you, one and all, and I would also like to thank the person behind organizing this, without whom we couldn't have got this opportunity to come together. Here's Engineer Ravi Shankar, sir, the founder of IDYM Group of Companies, and of course, our dynamic young CEO, Daniel Asmi, and Zuri Ma'am. Thank you to all of them, and thank you everyone for being with us and sharing. Thank you.